Well, we're reacting to some fantastic action at Newbury and Leopardstown and the effect that that's had on the anti-post markets for the Cheltenham Festival. Tom Lee from Channel 4 Racing and RTE is with me. And Tom, let's start with a horse that you saw win that's now gone to the top of the betting for the Supreme.
Yeah, the meeting opening Supreme, and what a weekend it was. Newbury, Leopardstown, big shake-up in the betting markets, and of course a new horse now, the big noise potentially in the Supreme Novice. That's the Willie Mullins train's Vautour. 3 wins from 3 starts in Ireland since joining the Mullins team, and the quote from his trainer after the race I think is really powerful. He says he looks like he can stay and gallop up the Cheltenham Hill. He's very fond of him, and it was a taking display. 9-1 was the top price going into the last weekend of racing. He's now generally around about a 4-1 shot, and very interestingly as well, the other Mullins representative in that race, that's Wicklow Brave. Looks like it'll be 2 for the stable. Wicklow Brave clipped in as well, 12-1 into 10-1.
Well, that race at the weekend that he won also had an effect on the Neptune betting as well.
Well, it did, because the horse that chased him home at Leopardstown, that was the Tullow Tank from the Philip Fenton stable. I didn't think he lost anything in defeat. It was 2¼ miles, the Grade 1 Deloitte Novice Hurdle at Leopardstown. I think we saw 2 very good horses there. After the race, his very shrewd trainer, quick to nominate the Neptune, exactly as you say, as his target. So that's up in trip, 2¼ up to 2 mile 5. Perhaps that can see him in an even better light. Don't forget, of course, he's already a Grade 1 winner at Fairyhouse, and he was clipped in 14-1 into around about 9-1.
Another horse that you saw win at the weekend as well, being clipped for the RSA Chase as well. Ballycasey, impressive.
Well, Willie Mullins, he was a man purring with appreciation for some of his equine displays over the weekend, because immediately after the PJ Moriarty Chase at Leopardstown, he said this horse has the RSA Chase written all over him. 8-1 into 5-1 was how the bookmakers responded, and you have to think that was a pretty slick display, because it was only a 3-horse race, but the 2 horses he beat, Don Cossack and Carlingford Lock, both of them Grade 1 winning novices, so pretty taking display.
We've also seen some money for winning the World Hurdle as well, and that's Salubrious, who's certainly taken a sharp cut in the market.
Well, he has, but lest we forget, 12 months ago he actually was a winner at the Cheltenham Festival in handicap company in the Martin Pipe Conditional Jockeys race. Obviously this is a step up in grade, but the last day we saw him was at Ascot in Grade 1 company just before Christmas, second in the long walk, so perhaps he can take the step up the ladder. Plenty of options for Paul Nicholls and his team in the staying hurdle division. He's one of 5 in the first dozen or so in the market, but 25-1 clipped into around about 12-14-1 now, Salubrious.
Yeah, back to the weekend, we saw some clues as well for the Triumph Hurdle, where one with more experience, Guitar Pete, beat off some that weren't quite as experienced.
Well, Ivan Grozny and Plinth were meant to be the 2 big noises, Jamie, and yet it was Guitar Pete who came to the fore, already a Grade 2 winner. Now he's a Grade 1 winner, having taken the Spring Juvenile at Leopardstown. He's a grinder, he's not flash, he hasn't got that lightning turn of pace that his stablemate Arcona displayed in that race last year. Even so, he's a very, very good jumper, and interesting to see his trainer, Desi Hughes, afterwards, quickly he came out and said not only is he a very good jumper, but he's not ground dependent. He will be there or thereabouts, halved in price, 20-1, now 10-1.
And a couple of clues as well for you for the Betfred Cheltenham Gold Cup as well. Last instalment. How impressive was that performance in Ireland? Well,
not just the equine performance, but the training performance from Philip Fenton to bring him back from 23 months off, and immediately you thought to yourself, shades of Denman, that strong galloping, powerful display from the front, brilliant ride from Brian O'Connell, and certainly no surprise, bookmakers, I think he was a top price 40-1 on Sunday morning. Now the best price in the village is just 10-1, but I still think that looks very fair, and I think the odds compilers are affording him I think probably the accurate amount of respect, because it was a very, very good display, and one on the over the other side of the pond, shall we say, at Newbury in the Denman Chase. That was Kim Bailey's Harry Topper, who has his own way of doing things. He's not the most natural jumper in the world, but when it clicks, he is very good. He's 50-1 into 20-1.
Yeah, so plenty of clues for the festival from the weekend. There'll be plenty more to come before we get underway.